What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your flying locomotive, and faster than a speeding bullet SuperCliff, coming at you live with a brand new video. So for today's video, I want to talk about Star Wars, specifically what Kathleen Kennedy said in her interview with the New York Times, with this week's premiere of the Star Wars Acolyte show on Disney+. However, before we get into Star Wars shenanigans, if you are new to the channel, then smash that like and subscribe button. That way you guys never miss out on anything that happens on this majestic channel. So what are you waiting for? Let's raise the bar and go full on Super Saiyan. Hit that subscribe button. So recently, during a New York Times interview, Kathleen Kennedy was asked a question about female characters and actresses working in Star Wars, the heightened focus of female-centric stories and creators, and the backlash that comes from it. And in response, Kathleen said the following, quote, "My belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people." Kennedy told a publication about her support for Headling's Acolyte vision. "That's an easy decision for me. Operating within these giant franchises now, with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying." Kennedy continued, "I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male-dominated, they're sometimes getting attacked in ways that can be quite personal." So first things first, I think it's fair to say that amongst all fandoms, the Star Wars fandom is probably the loudest and probably the most passionate. However, that love fans have for Star Wars can turn into anger and resentment, especially when a story, in said fans' view, destroys their character, in turn destroying their hero. Whether it be through world building, character writing, or however it's done, if someone doesn't like that approach to a character or a story, then it's totally fair to reject it. On the flip side, what's not okay is if your response is racist, sexist, or violent. That's not good. And whether or not you like Kelly Marie Tran as Rose from TheLastJedi, regardless of how much her character sucks, no one should insult or threaten the actress. And that goes for anyone who's played a character that is viewed as not a good character. Now, if that's said, I don't like this quote at all. I think Kathleen Kennedy is purposely ignoring the issue, or she's a fucking idiot and she has no idea, or she just can't read the room. Yeah, there's obviously a toxic sect of fans in every fandom, especially in Star Wars. However, I believe this is a vastly different situation and it needs context. Ever since Disney has purchased Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy has been running the ship. And ever since, The Force Awakens and just kind of, the more Star Wars we've been getting, there's been a significant drop in quality for the Star Wars brand. And I'd say the ship has been sinking really bad ever since the release of The Last Jedi. And it's not because the majority of Star Wars fans are dudes who hate women. If that were the case, then how would you explain the love and interest in these, following characters in pre-Disney? Bastila Shan from Knights of the Old Republic, Asajj Ventress from Terataski's Clone Wars cartoon, Padme Amidala from the prequels, Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars animated series, Princess Leia from Star Wars A New Hope, Mon Mothma. Yes, she only has one scene in Return of the Jedi, but the expansion of her character is huge in the expanded universe. Mara Jade from the expanded universe, Jaina Solo from the expanded universe, Kreia from Knights of the Old Republic 2, and heck, I'll even throw in some, Disney-era characters into the mix. Sierra John from Jedi Fallen Order, Marin from Jedi Fallen Order, Omega from Bad Batch, Hera Syndulla from The Rebels. Basically, these are all female Star Wars characters who, in my opinion, are great. But unlike female characters like Rey or Reva, the issue for them isn't because they're women. The issue is that their characters are flat, they're empty and forced, and they're not well written. What does Rey want from life? We don't know. Why are we invested with Luke's training? Why are we invested in Ahsoka's training in the Clone Wars? Ahsoka doesn't become this amazing commander and Jedi because she's a woman. Luke isn't a Jedi Knight because he's a dude. We see both characters try and fall again and again. We see them learn from their mistakes. Unlike Rey, both Luke and Ahsoka have strengths, but they also have flaws. We know what ticks Luke. We know what ticks Ahsoka. What ticks Rey? Fuck if I know. Now, I don't blame Daisy Ridley at all. She did her best with what she was given. But here's the thing, when you take a character like Luke Skywalker, who's this major pop culture icon, and you destroy his character, what he represents in The Last Jedi, and you basically use that opportunity to place him with Rey, who is good at everything, no training involved whatsoever, how do you expect going forward people to be invested, to feel immersed? How do you expect the audience to respect your work after literally taking a dump on Luke Skywalker and basically saying, fuck him, fuck Luke Skywalker. Honestly, what it comes down to is that it's not that there's being a lack of male characters that's driving fans insane. I'm sure there's a sect of them that are like, oh, women bad, but it's the lack of talent, the lack of great storytelling, compelling female characters for us to root for and to get invested in. Fans, including myself, are rejecting the Acolyte not because women, but it has to do a lot with, clues and past trends. A lot of what Leslie Headland has said about Star Wars and George Lucas doesn't sound attractive in the eyes and the ears of a typical Star Wars fan. It seems like, everything that she's said so far, that she wants to interject her politics into the Acolyte story. And, that's not why people watch Star Wars. Yes, Star Wars is political, but it's done in the way where it's balanced and it's not so much on the nose. And if you just kind of do your research and you listen to what Leslie Headland has said from time to time, it screams The Last Jedi. It screams that, that need for, I need to put forward the message. It's no, you don't have to do that. You just need to tell a good story and just show us their character through their actions. It seems that a lot of the Acolyte is prepped to do, rather than being a story about Jedi and Sith, it seems that the Acolyte is preparing to tell a story that will interject today's culture war topics into the story. And unfortunately, that can take away the immersion. And look, who knows? Maybe the Acolyte is really good, and none of what I'm saying is true. I will 100% eat crow, and I will 1000% apologize. But I doubt that's going to be the case. Not to mention, in terms of quality for Disney live-action Star Wars, there's been more misses than hits. Therefore, me as a Star Wars fan and just someone doing math, though I love the concept of a story taking place pre-Episode 1, how can you not at this point be skeptical? As a consumer, as a Star Wars fan, how can you not be cautious? When it comes to current live-action Star Wars, it's like they're trying to tell a Star Wars story that sounds and, looks like Star Wars, rather than telling a story within the Star Wars universe. So yeah, I 100% disagree with Kathleen Kennedy. It's not because women suck, it's the writing for these characters. It's the lack of authenticity within these characters. And it's not just the women characters too. There's a lot of men characters that just suck. And you're like, what is it? It's because of the writing. There's no effort being put into these characters to provide nuance, to provide immersion and a need to want to know more. And that goes for any story. Marvel, DC, One Piece, video games. Look at The Last of Us. Ellie's a lesbian, but she's awesome. She's a great character. Basically, if you don't have good characters, if you don't have characters that the audience wants to root for, you're not going to have a good story. So yeah, as always, I'm your majestic Sarah for SuperCliff. And if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button. And also the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload. And so you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite, nerdyisms, nerdy updates happening in this insane, nerdy world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on Kathleen Kennedy's recent comments? What are your thoughts on the upcoming Acolyte show? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace. Giggity goo.